Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gundam News. And man, do we have a lot of things to look at this week. First of all, there was some news for Witch of Mercury and also for the other upcoming Gundam anime. On March 26th and 27th, Anime Japan 2022 will be held at Tokyo Big Sight, where a lot of anime companies are going to be showing off their cool stuff, including, of course, Bandai and Gundam. And they confirmed that part of their exhibition will be the 4th and 5th movie of Riken Gissenji, the upcoming Iron-Blooded Orphans anime, Kukuru's the One's Island, and Witch of Mercury. So I'd say that at least by the 27th, we'll finally know if Witch of Mercury is going to be part of UC, its own alternate universe, or maybe even part of an existing alternate universe, which I don't think that last one is going to be the case, but my money is gonna go on it being its own thing altogether. And talking about all of the universes, Bamco is releasing a new SD Gundam game that will have all of the universes in it. SD Gundam Battle Alliance. But unlike the SD games we've gotten in the past couple of years, this one is actually an action RPG. So when I first read the title that it was going to be an action RPG, my mind immediately went back to like those really old SD Gundam games that are like on the Famicom, where it kinda, you have an overworld like the strategy SD Gundam games, but then when you engage another unit, it turns into like a side-scrolling action game kinda. But when looking at the trailer, which I'll also have linked down below, it gave me a very big Gundam Breaker vibe, but without the Gunpla and with only SD Gundams. It has like a somewhat open world environment where you can engage various enemies, but we will have to see what the full gameplay experience is going to be like. What we do know then is that the story will revolve around the official stories of the series included, but due to a break phenomenon, there's going to be mobile suits kinda messing up the timelines, like mobile suits that shouldn't be there from alternate universes, and it's up to the player and his squadron, or like his alliance that he's part of, to rectify this false history. And while you're doing this, you can collect money and upgrade parts to upgrade your machine, which I'm going to assume is where the RPG part of the title comes into play. I'm fairly certain this is just going to mean that you can do like things like increasing your attack and hit points levels, and then you'll get like parts that are like your ammo is double or something like that. It would be interesting if you could customize your machines even further like in Gundam Breaker, but I think that if that was going to be in there, they would have showed it off in the trailer. And then you can fight all of these battles by yourself, or you can go online with up to 2 other players. And then the series included are the original Gundam, 0083, 0080, the 08th MS Team, Thunderbolt, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, Shar's Counterattack, Beltorchika's Children, Unicorn, F91, Crossbone Gundam, Victory, G Gundam, Gundam Wing, Gundam X, Turn A, Seed, Seed Astray, Seed vs. Astray, Destiny, 0000 Awakening of the Trailblazer, Riken Gista NG, and Iron-Blooded Orphans. Now, keep in mind that this list is only for the mobile suits included, and not necessarily that the series are going to have playable missions. For example, Beltorchika's Children here probably just means that we're getting the Hainu Gundam as a playable mobile suit, and not necessarily as a playable campaign. And then perhaps the biggest surprise was the systems that this game is going to be playable on. We've got the obvious one like Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Steam, which up until a couple of years ago would have been quite surprising in and of itself, but even the owners of an Xbone and Series X and S will be getting this game. Wasn't the last Xbox game like Operation Troy and like Dynasty Warriors Gundam for the 360, so that's been like, what, at least 10 years since we've gotten a Gundam game on the Xbox. The game then will be releasing sometime this year for a price that they'll tell us later. Now, I also couldn't find the computer specs required to run the game, but it doesn't look like it'll require too much juice to run. And since we're on the topic of video games, Gundam Breaker Mobile got their 3.3 update, which includes things like customizable missions, new story missions, an event for the Tallgeese Flugel and Qubeley, and of course a bunch of login campaigns to celebrate the event, and also the 2.5th anniversary of the game. Then, next up, we've got some pretty big news from Mega House and their Triple G figure lineup. On Friday, they revealed the prototypes of the Gundam Guys Generation Paptimus Scirocco in his White Titans uniform, and the Gundam Girls Generation Emma Sheen in her AU uniform. Now, so far, the only things we know is that Scirocco will come with 2 different sets of arms, one where he looks like he's thinking about his next scheme, and another one where he looks like he's carrying out the scheme. And that's it. More information will be coming in the future, and I also hope that we'll get an Emma Sheen figure in her Titans uniform. That would definitely be a great addition to the collection. Then, alongside the 2 new figures, they also announced that their Haman and Quattro figures will be getting a re-release, but when is currently unknown. And then their final bombshell is that we're getting a new B-style bunny girl. After the amazing looking Lacus Klein, we are now getting Meer Campbell. I'm not surprised. And just as with the rest, we'll have to wait a little bit longer for more information. And at the moment of recording, our Meer Bunny Girl is even still pending approval from the licensor, but I have no doubt that she's going to be approved. So with the obvious second one out of the way, I do wonder who the third one is going to be, because again, I have no doubt that this line is going to continue, and Gundam certainly has no lack of candidates. And talking about Gundam waifus, we're getting a new Hazel. The Hazel Owsla gigantic arms unit, which definitely isn't something I was ever expecting to see as an official all-in-one Gunpla kit, especially not like 5 years ago or something. But we are getting it, and what's even crazier is that the arms look like they're mostly or even completely new. There's new surface detailing to make them just like the line art, and despite the very inconvenient design of the upper arms with like the triangle sticking out, they actually have a double jointed elbow that can completely go up thanks to an extending mechanism. And now, to anyone who's surprised that I'm surprised that the arms are completely new, despite that they are slightly different, just have a look at the Jagan A-Types model kit and the line art and try to spot the differences. So as an Advance of Zeta fan, I can definitely appreciate the extra attention to detail here. And then in addition to that, they even promise us very good color separation, marking stickers, and a stand so that our gigantic arm unit doesn't make a gigantic tumble. Reservations started on the 9th and were unfortunately sold up by the time I woke up and realized that this thing was getting a release. So I'm definitely hoping that we're getting a second or maybe even a third wave of reservations so I can actually get my hands on one of these things for a reasonable price. Regardless, the first wave is slated for a May release with a retail price of 6,820 yen or around 60 US. And a similar fate seems to have befallen the metal build Hi-Nu Gundam, which will be releasing in July with a 35,200 yen price tag, around 300 US. Pre-orders opened on Tuesday and, well, did not stay open for very long. Still, I will have the usual link to Hobbling Japan down below, because with the way their pre-orders work, it's very easy to cancel it later on, which means that you could still snag one later on as well. which is how I was able to get my hands on my Robot Damashi Gym Quell and also my Robot Damashi Gym Custom, which is getting a re-release later on. But the metal build Hi-Nu Gundam now. If you do manage to get one, it's definitely going to look awesome on your shelf. Not only are we getting the normal accessories like the bazooka or the beam rifle, that also comes with the sling, by the way, but we're also getting an action base that will allow you to pose the Hi-Nu Gundam with all of its fin funnels deployed. And then another really interesting feature is in the shield. The barrel of the Mega Particle Cannon that's in there can actually slide in and out. So when it's not needed, or like when it's not ready to fire, you can just store it safely inside of the shield. If you then combine that with features that I've already mentioned in previous Gundam News videos, like opening armor gimmicks, definitely make it look like we're getting one hell of an amazing metal build Gundam. And there was yet more stuff for you to pre-order this week. I really hope that your wallet is going to be okay. Over at P Bandai, reservations for the Robot Damashi Guntank mass production type version anime started last week Friday. And for 8,360 yen, around 75.80 US, we're getting quite the nice little figure that also comes packed with some really cool features. If I remember correctly, I said in a previous video that I wasn't expecting the tank treads to be actually movable, and that this was just referencing to the fact that it was going to have a really cool suspension system. But it turns out they do actually move like they're supposed to. And then the backpack opens up just like in the anime and even includes a reloading gimmick. Again, just like in the anime. And then the final things are effect parts for the arm missile launchers and shoulder mounted cannons. What's really surprising here is just how dynamic they managed to make a literal tank look. And they also advertised that by combining it with the upcoming Goof Custom, we can replicate the death battle that the two had in episode 10. That was less of a death battle and more of a one-sided slaughter. On Monday then, reservations opened up for the Mobile Suit Ensemble X-37 Full Armor Double Zeta Gundam and the X-38 Qubeley set, both of which are scheduled for a June release. The Full Armor Double Zeta Gundam set will set you back 5,500 yen, 50 US, and comes with a positively overwhelming amount of accessories, so you can have your Double Zeta Gundam just the way you want it. You can go for the standard anime configuration, you can go for the Hyper Mega Cannon, you can put everything on there, or you can even put nothing on there and go for the Enhanced Double Zeta or the regular Double Zeta. The Triple Qubeley set then will set you back 7,150 yen, around 65 US, and get you Hamon's Qubeley, Puru's Qubeley, Puru2's Qubeley, and the effect set for the funnels. Or if you prefer full-scale high grades, they got resale pre-orders last week along with the fin funnel effect set, so you should probably see those popping up on proxy websites as well. And then a couple of days later, pre-orders also opened for the Ensemble X39, the Crossbone Gundam Unit 1 full cloth version, which is in a way very similar to the Double Zeta Gundam set. Again, for 5,500 yen, around 50 US, you are getting basically everything you need to configure your Crossbone Gundam in exactly the way you want, with or without a cloth, and as far as I can tell, it comes with every weapon that it should. And this set is currently slated for a July release. And then finally, pre-orders opened on Wednesday for Robert Gilliam's Zaku 2 High Mobility Type R2, the real grade one. Basically a color of the Johnny Raiden version, but with a different color scheme and different marking stickers. 3,630 yen, around 30-35 US, will get you this thing in May. And in other news, Gundam is celebrating the Lunar New Year in full force with this new Tiger Gundam statue in Shanghai. which is part of the Zodiac Gundam area that was erected for the occasion and also houses statues of previous Zodiac Gundams. And then Sunrise, the studio that makes the Gundam anime, will be changing its name to Bandai Namco Filmworks. So since we're already used to calling Bandai Namco Bamco, I suggest that we now nickname this new company Bamkofi. As for the things we could get this week then, on the 9th, the Master Grade DOM was apparently already shipped out, even though last week they said that it was only going to be releasing on the 11th. But whatever, I think I have said everything there is to say about this thing. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have been nearly as annoyed if Bandai was still releasing Master Grades regularly and not like one every 3 or 4 months. Like, now it just feels like this thing took up a valuable spot that otherwise could have gone to a master grade of a mobile suit that really needed one. There's still so many out there. But still, if you need to get your hands on one, I will have it linked down below. Or if you want the rigged on version that comes with the beam bazooka, I'll have that one linked down below as well. Next up then were some paints for your Gundam Seed models that were released last week Friday for $253 in a pop, around $2.50. There is Sword Strike Blue, Launcher Strike Green, and Strike Rouge Pink, the lightest one of the 2 pinks on the machine. As for this week's reading material then, there was the weekly Big Comic Spirit serializing Gundam Bandera, the weekly Mobile Suit Bible, this time featuring the Tallgeese, and over at the Sunrise store on P Bandai, is that now going to be renamed the Bandai Namco Filmworks store on P Bandai then? Because, you know, Sunrise changing names, whatever. Over there, pre-order started for the official picture book of the Gundam Factory Yokohama. And then in other news, next week is Valentine, so obviously Japan is getting ready to sell you a shit ton of stuff. Things like a Gundam Relief can for 3,240 yen, 30 US, a Shining Space chocolate gift box for 1,296 yen, 10 US, a Last Shooting chocolate gift box, 1,080 yen, 9 US, an Earth Federation Space Forces chocolate set for 648 yen, 6 US, a Char vs. Gundam chocolate gift box for 2,160 yen, 20 US, a 1-year war chocolate gift box for 1,080 yen, 9 US, a Red Comet Char custom chocolate can for 1,620 yen, 15 US, a Char chocolate set for 864 yen, 8 US, a Gundam Seed chocolate can for 1,620 yen, 15 US, a Gundam Seed special gift for 1,296 yen, 10 US, a Gundam Seed can batch and chocolate box for 880 yen, 8 US, a Gundam Seed pink Haro pouch with heart-shaped cookies for 1,100 yen, 10 US, and a Gundam Seed chocolate gift set for 378 yen, 3 US. I've got only one question. Where is McGillis here? Mika literally called him the Chocolate Man. The merchandise makes itself. But anyways, if you're familiar with Japanese Valentine's Day, you know that in order to maximize profits, I mean love, they also have a second day called White Day, which is the day that the boys who received Valentine's gifts from girls reciprocate the feelings by buying them things like a Char chocolate can for 1,620 yen, 15 US, a set of 1-year war assorted chocolate for 864 yen, 8 US, a set of 1-year war tablet chocolates for 756 yen, 7 US, or a Char custom chocolate box for 540 yen, around 5 US. And if you're not exactly sure what love is, fear not, because on Valentine's Day itself, they will have a special radio program called Learning About Adult Love through Zeta Gundam. help. On to the Gundam Apparel news then, and boy did we again get a lot of that today, this week. My favorite one was without a doubt Strict G's new lineup that went on sale on Thursday, today at the moment of recording. And it is called the Pictogram Collection, a combination of pictograms you're probably familiar with famous Gundam things. For 4,730 yen, around 45 US, you can get a white t-shirt with 1 Year War pictogram that I think is based on a toilet sign, Zeeks go left, Feds go right, or a black t-shirt with Zagok pictogram based on the washing machine pictogram. They didn't say what temperature it's okay to wash your Zagok though, so be careful out there. For 5,830 and then 55 US, you can get a white long sleeve t-shirt with Saikamu pictogram that is based on the Electrocution Danger pictogram, or a black one featuring a triple fast forward with Char's Zaku. I love this. And then finally, for 9,180 yen, 85 US, you can get a black hoodie with Char's Kick pictogram that is based on the Impact Hazard pictogram. This one is also really nicely done, and I really hope that we'll be getting more of these because these designs are awesome. And then on the same day, they also started selling their first Sora Yoe collection, which roughly translates to Space World paintings, or I guess more freely, paintings of the world of Universal Century. What they are then are really cool traditional Japanese-esque pictures of certain episodes printed on t-shirts. A regular shirt is 5,280 yen, 50 US, a long sleeve t-shirt is 7,480 yen, 70 US, and the available styles are white with an episode 1 picture, black with an episode 4 picture, and navy with an episode 41 picture. And then for 12,100 yen, 100 US, you can get a hoodie with almost the same designs, but instead of white, the episode 1 hoodie is gray. And then the final Strict G thing was a collaboration with A.N.I.M.E to create a variety of Gundam backpacks that went on sale last week Friday. For 16,280 yen, around 150 US, you could get one of these fully featured backpacks in either Earth Federation Forces Navy, Zeon Army Green, Vist Foundation White, or Mafty Black. And for 6,600 yen, around 60 US, you could get a matching fanny pack with the same designs and colors. But if you want to pack your stuff in even more Gundam-y style, Cospa has you covered with their Ground Gym Shield Bag for 6,380 yen, 60 US. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bag in the shape of the shield of the Ground Gym. And true to its origins, it can be worn on your back, but it also has an extra strap so you can attach it to your arm. You know, this thing might actually be kind of fun to drag around a convention. But anyways, they also have two types of Gundam caps for pre-order for 4,950 yen, 45 US. There's an Earth Federation one and a Zeon one, and just like the shield bag, they're currently slated for a June release. And finally, we have Bankore, who also created their own lineup of episode-inspired t-shirts that went up for pre-order last week Friday. So for 3,300 yen, 30 US, you can get a black t-shirt with either Gundam Rising, Thread of Zeon, Kukuru's Dewan's Island, or Ramba Rawl's Attack print. And for 1,760 yen, 15 US, you can get a matching acrylic keychain. And on the same day, pre-orders also went live for their 00 character collection featuring the 4 Gundam Meisters. You can get them on a long sleeve t-shirt for 4,950 yen, 45 US, a cushion cover for 3,520 yen, 30 US, a face towel for 3,300 yen, 30 US, a pouch for 1,650 yen, 15 US, a mug for 2,200 yen, 20 US, and acrylic stands for 1,430 and a pop, a little over 10 US. And then, if you want to feel even more like a Gundam, on Tuesday, reservations opened up for the Gundam Antenna Motif series, which features some of the most well-known and distinct V-fins. You can get them on either a cap for 3,300 yen, 30 US, or a polo t-shirt for 4,950 yen, 45 US. And the available styles are RX-78-2, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, and New Gundam. And then the last Bankore thing is the Gundam series Pika project, which might sound like a collaboration with Pokemon, but it's actually something similar to those light-up phone cases that we saw a while back. You know, the ones that light up thanks to the radio waves emitted by your phone. But this time, they're pass cases for IC cards that are then designed again to catch the radio waves emitted when your IC card is used, which then powers the light up function of the pass case. And for 1,980 yen, a little under 20 US, this does actually sound like something really cool for like a Pasmo or a Suica or something. And the available styles are RX-78-2, Char's Zaku 2, regular Zaku 2, Hyakushiki, New Gundam, Sazabi, Unicorn Gundam, Sinanju, Xi Gundam, Penelope, F91 Gundam, Alex Gundam, Kempfer, Ground Gundam, Goof Custom, and Wing Zero Custom. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised that the one non-UC machine is the Wing Zero Custom and not something from Gundam Seed. But anyways, I do hope that we'll see more releases like this, and maybe we'll even get a Gundam Mark II or a Strike Gundam in the future. I definitely buy that. And all of the aforementioned Bankore items are currently slated for a March release. And then before we end this week's Gundam news, I quickly want to touch on the ongoing poll over at Gundam.info. As always, if you want to vote in it, I will have it linked down below. So, with the upcoming release of the Gundam Age Blu-ray, they wanted to know which one our favorite main Gundam Age Gundam is. And the winner seems to be quite clear already, as the Age 2 Normal has already garnered 314 votes. But with the other three, there is still somewhat of a competition going on. In second place, we have the HFX with 193 votes. In third place, we have the H1 Normal with 132 votes. And then in last place, we have the H3 Normal with 111 votes. And well, that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.